Bam! A little bit of a downer as a first reaction video. However, I went ahead and tailored today's experience, okay? We're gonna go ahead and start with some harsh truths, some harsh realities, and then we're gonna move on to some really cool, really fun, really awesome stuff, okay? But I woke up this morning and I got this, which is pretty awesome. In case you don't know, Philip DeFranco, super cool YouTube dude, always shows all kinds of news. Basically, I go to False ID for any VTuber anime news. I go to Philly D over here for like real world news, and then I go over to no, honestly, just any other streamer, like Asmod and all them, for any streamer-related news. So I got my little, but however, today, goodness, he started doing this thing where he's doing like 7 days a week videos now, and I think it's a really smart idea, because now they can separate each story and give each story its own dedicated time. Genius idea, genius, like, especially for this kind of format when it comes to news. However, today, like this is the first time I'm seeing one of those like new videos, and dude, harsh vibes. In case you don't know, Shell, the oil company, has been doing some really sketchy, really shady stuff. Let me drop a like on this video. Let me go ahead and post you guys the video. If you guys want to watch along, drop them a like, do whatever's you want to do. Let me go ahead and do that. Boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna post it on the chats, my dude, so that you guys can follow along. And if you don't think I deserve a like or anything like that, you don't have to, but please, 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 I will say, go drop all these people that were reacting to a like, a watch, everything, my dudes. They deserve it. They put so much time and effort into the videos. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, sorry, my freaking chat on YouTube is acting up. What are you doing? Oh, I see. Okay. All right, YouTube. All right, YouTube. All right, YouTube. I'll go to your freaking control panel, your command center, whatever. I love you, YouTube, but goodness, you gotta get your streaming, like, aspects of the channel. Like, I saw you guys drop that freaking survey. I answered all the questions very harshly. You guys are, like, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Over here with this freaking, all these weird guidelines and rules and everything. Neil, what are you doing, Neil? Get your act together, Neil. There we go. Post. There you go. So if you guys wanted to watch along, please do so. Alrighty, I'm going to start the video, and I will try to avoid pausing. It is a short one. It's 6 minutes. But let's see what Shell, the gas company, the oil company, has been getting into.
This is what happens when one company destroys a country and people demand justice. With the company, in this case, being the Anglo-Dutch oil giant Shell, and the country being one of Africa's largest oil producers, Nigeria. At the center of
it's horrifying to see this, dude.
Vast area where the Niger River flows into the Gulf.
It sucks because me personally, I can't do a damn thing about this. I can't even say I really
and for good reason.
Use that gas station really enough or anything like that.
Every single year, most of which never get cleaned up. Countless Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of thick black petroleum oozing into farmlands, rivers, creeks, and lagoons. So of course, not much grows on the farms, and the little that does is often too toxic to eat, with most, if not all, the fish in the area having died, wiping out what used to be a staple food source for locals, as this woman explains.
The oil that is spilling is what is disturbing us.
This is around where I paused it this morning. This is the saddest thing.
They're all dead. We cannot get anything. We are suffering. See this oil all over me.
And as you'd expect, the water is also heavily contaminated. Or just turn on the faucet in some places and it comes out brown and stinking with sulfur.
Like that poor woman's, like, the way she was talking just hit me.
Like,
in
fact, a 2017 study
she sounds desperate, dude.
An oil spill are twice as likely to die in their first month of life. And even suggesting there were 11,000 premature deaths per year in the Delta. And this also leading to crippling health conditions for the adult population.
When I saw the woman, she's having anasaka. That means that generalized body swelling. If you look at the woman, she could rarely breathe. She couldn't walk because her heart is failing.
Bro, this is sad. Oh, I lost my memo for something very similar. Oh.
I have family to take care of.
So now they have to buy their drinking water from the city, which is expensive, and one community leader explaining, if you don't have money, you can't drink water. It's like we're living in the desert while we're living on the water. Meanwhile, Shell made $40 billion in profits last year alone, much of that from Nigeria. But also,
$40 billion, dude.
Clean up the damage that it's caused is just a fraction of that. With the UN
a fraction?
2011, the first 5
I wonder
years
how much it would cost.
Require $1 billion. And calling the situation an emergency that requires the largest terrestrial cleanup operation.
I would like to see the exact numbers.
That would have taken 3 decades if started immediately. Yet today, the Delta's inhabitants say the cleanup still hasn't begun, and people are suffering. That is, until possibly now. But before we get into all that, we have to understand how we even got here.
Yeah, he mentioned at the beginning of the video that they're finally starting to get repercussions. Good. Like, this is so brutal, dude. Can you imagine? Like, literally, Shell, the oil company, literally pulled what is it, the Solarians from Mass Effect did, which is when they dropped a biological weapon that made it so that, like, only a percentage of the Krogans were like, born, and the rest were stillborn. Effectively, Shell has done the same thing, where they've just dropped chemicals all over Nigeria, and now the population is having stillborns due to them.
Back in 1956,
like, this is some
black gold in
sci-fi evil villain stuff, bro.
4 years later, it declared independence full of hope that the oil could enrich the nation.
But it's real,
descended into civil
and it's
war,
freaking
military
Shell.
That oil enriched its former colonizers at Shell headquarters instead, with the government becoming a corrupt business partner to this day, getting some 90% of its export earnings and more than a third of public revenue from oil.
Yeah, American oil companies making money off of wars outside the U.S.
But we've also seen resistance movements, like the non-violent rebellion led by activist Ken Saro-Wiwa, who temporarily forced Shell out of the Ogoniland region in 1993. But even then, the dictatorship brought
that's
down
hardcore.
its fist, murdering, raping, torturing, even burning down entire villages, and then finally executing Saro-Wiwa. And years later,
he's dead.
Reviewed documents showing that Shell actually encouraged the military to deal with the protests despite knowing
this
what
is some
even providing the military
evil
with material support,
like villain shit, dude.
Being a commander infamous for human rights abuses. But for years, the company denied any involvement, and as the new century dawned, the violence continued, with militant groups blowing up pipelines, attacking oil and gas facilities, kidnapping employees, and at its height, reducing.
Like, what else are they gonna do, bro?
But eventually, the government bought off the rebels, so the president got to look like a peacemaker, and oil
of course
kept chugging along. So instead, what we saw was the
money solves everything.
15,000 fishers and farmers suing.
Remember, if you're gonna wreck stuff, at least do it to maximum profit, so that you can just pay off anybody who gives you flack.
Legal system.
Goodness.
In 2015, they actually won, earning compensation of approximately $68 million, along with the world's largest cleanup of oil heroes in history. And then in 2021, the UK High Court unanimously ruled that there was a good, arguable...
Man, UK Supreme Court, those are my dudes, yes! Yeah! UK Supreme Court.
responsible for the pollution caused by its Nigerian subsidiary. And then just last month, over 11,000 residents of
hell yeah!
individual claims against Shell.
Thank you, UK, doing what we don't want to do with the US. Yes!
13,650. And even all of that, it's
for some reason.
The tip of the iceberg. There are hundreds and hundreds of more affected communities that could seek legal recourse.
I have not. Why is this the first time I'm hearing about all this?
It's not responsible for the damage caused by the spill, saying that any legal claim must come within 5 years of a specific spill, and that only Nigerian authorities have jurisdiction over its subsidiary. Though with that, activists have countered that Nigerian courts are just too slow and corrupt, so they look to London instead. Also, Shell claims that the vast majority of oil spills are caused by third parties.
Too slow and corrupt. I wonder why.
Profit on the black market. They're saying that they tap into the pipelines for oil and whisk it away to one of the refineries hidden deep in the Niger Delta, somewhere where it's processed and sold to traders who distribute it to customers across the wider country. And those refineries do a lot of damage, coughing up tons of black soot that rains down on local residents. But while that is a problem, many see the theft as a symptom of the poverty and corruption caused and perpetrated by foreign interests like Shell. So the lawsuits keep coming, and in 2021, Shell buckled under the pressure, announcing its plan to vacate the Niger Delta and sell its onshore oil fields. And this, following similar plans by ExxonMobil and other oil producers to pull out.
Like, bro, this oil, that when they struck this oil, that would have typically, it would have exploded their economy. It would have made everything so much better for all of Nigeria. And instead, these freaking companies just came in, wrecked shit, and put bad people in power.
Though both giants keeping their offshore investments. But also, here's
of
the thing.
course,
today, Shell is still stuck in the country because last June, Nigeria's Supreme Court forced it to pause its withdrawal. And this because they say Shell needs to await the outcome on an appeal over a court ruling that it must pay $2 billion for a 2019 oil spill. And so ultimately, that's where we are. We're waiting to see that and the other case involving 13,000 plaintiffs to unfold, the latter of which is expected to happen next year. But in the meantime,
yeah, no, they shouldn't get to just like pull out, and they shouldn't be able to just pull out and freaking leave all responsibility and just sort of pretend like nothing happened. No. It's good that the Nigerian courts are holding them accountable as well, especially now with the UK courts having set precedent there. I think they can make unless they're super, super corrupt, that should help.
Conflict brew. Right, in recent years, there's this new militant group that's emerged called the Delta Avenger.
Oh, yeah! See, all of y'all over here trying to talk about Wakanda Forever and Black Panther. Wait, here's the real black heroes right here. Yeah! Delta Avengers, my dudes!
Formed in 2016, cut oil production
I love them.
half that same year, kept attacking oil installations through 2017.
Okay, but as long as they didn't murder anyone, please don't kill anyone, all right? I mean... Hold on.
We've only made threats since then. But yeah, that's what we are.
Okay, see, just threats. All right, that doesn't sound good either. Hold on, but you get what I'm saying here. All right, like, this is when you're in a terrible situation. Sometimes the answer might just be,
and this is just
please don't hurt anyone or harass anyone. But at the same time, if somebody invades your land and starts to wreck shit, I'm just saying. One extreme might lead to other extremes. You really shouldn't have done the first extreme to begin with.
Such little media coverage. I mean, for 6 decades, multinational oil companies have pillaged the country for profit, and now they're just leaving behind a wasteland of poverty, violence, corruption, and ecological devastation. And that is the happy note that
killing
I'm
entire
ecosystems,
ecosystems,
Thank you
dude.
for caring about the world around you. Remember, if you want more news that matters, I got you covered right here. Because remember, this week we have gone daily, brand new video every single day. So I love you.
I'm loving this. Makes it way easier to react to your stuff too, and able to echo it out into the world. And that's really why I wanted to react to this, my dudes, because this blew my freaking mind. Okay, let's move on to some happier stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, because that's some real James Bond villain stuff that I think Shell should not just get away with without everybody mentioning, Just saying.